So now we're going to get into basketball ideology. So this comes up because from time to time I'll have, new clients, and sometimes I have clients that come back. And I've always known, but I never really rationalized or thought about it, was how hard it is to train somebody that thinks they know what they're doing, but they're not really good at it. And they have a lot of, bad habits, and they'll make a shot, or they're able to kind of make that move or whatever, because the defenders that they're playing against are relatively young and don't understand how to defend. And they think it's okay, and they think that they can really play. It is the hardest thing. Like, that's harder to me than somebody who does not know how to play basketball and you're teaching.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, because I've had a few players within the last few weeks, and it's like, nah. So I'll give you an example. A person with a really bad jump shot, right? Bad mechanics. They take forever to shoot. They're bad with how they shoot. And you'll do a drill, and let's say I'm going to have him shoot 10 shots in doing this drill. And he makes maybe 3 out of 10. He'll make number 7, he'll make number 8, and then he'll make number 10, right? From number 1 to 7, when he's missing, you'll hear stuff like, hey, I should be making that.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
And then you try to say something, and it's like, yeah, but this is how I shoot. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but that shot that you're taking, you're not going to get that shot when you're playing against. I'm not concerned with you with these 5th and 6th, maybe 7th grade kids who are players who can't really play. I'm trying to prepare you for when you're going against elite talent.
Right.
And it's fascinating. And I give you a perfect example. Eat Zell.
Okay.
When I first got her, it was trying to explain to her that she has to jump on her jump shot.
Okay.
Right? And she would make her shot, and I was like, yeah, but you're not going to get that shot off. And I believe the first time she went with you guys, when she came back, I was like, well, how was it? And she was like, I think she took maybe 12 shots. She missed like 8 of them. 3 or 4 of them got blocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did you learn from it? She's like, I need to jump on my jump shot. And it was like, yeah, like, I'm not telling you something just to be telling you.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating to me. How many players have you had in that instance?
Well, and shouts out to yourself. She changed all that.
Yes.
Man. She really leveled up her play the last 2 years and heading to college. Congratulations. It pains me to say this, but we recently had a player who was in that same space.
Yeah.
Very stubborn, hard-headed. I want to do it my way. And we've had some in the past, but for me, it seems like other than just myself, this generation, they just get in the mindset of, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Right.
When I want to do it, how I want to do it. This individual has fantastic parents. Fantastic parents. I mean, dream parents.
Right.
But just refuse to listen. When I grew up, my mom taught me, you don't learn from your mistakes, you learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
That's how you expedite your process.
Right.
So, I really think it's just this generation, this YouTube generation, this they watch so much fake fantasy stuff online in their mind. They think it's real. And you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
No, it's because when you said YouTube, I just had a client recently that I was doing a drill with.
Yeah.
And the client was driving to the board, and they did, instead of a gather step 1, 2, they did 1, 2, both steps on the right foot, and they went up, and I was just like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this person watches a lot of YouTube, because I don't know anybody who would actually teach that. And I didn't say anything because I'm like, well, it wasn't a travel, right? Because when he left foot, and then it was right, and then he went up. So it was it was legal.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting up here thinking to myself, okay, should I explain to him that you don't have nowhere near the power taking 2 steps off your right? So when you try that against a help side defenders coming, they're gonna blast that.
And you're not gonna be on balance.
You're not gonna be on balance. Yeah. Exactly. You're not gonna be on balance. You're not gonna have you're not gonna be able to protect yourself to go up strong and get up as high as you would to finish. And then I thought, and I was like, I'm not gonna say nothing about that. Now, well, why wouldn't you say that if that's what your job is? Because sometimes I feel like experience will be the teacher. And it wasn't like, because here's my training philosophy. If we're working on a drill and you are skilled or something, you mess up, whether it's your shot, whether it's your defense, whatever it is. If you mess up the first time, I usually try to see if you're gonna do it 2 or 3 times in a row, right? Because sometimes you can make a mistake and you realize, that was wrong. So you self-correct. So if you do the same thing 3 times in a row, or within confines of reps, we're doing like 10, 15 reps of that. If you do it 30 to 40%, then at some point I'm gonna stop and correct, because I don't want to be overcorrecting every time you do. Unless when you're first starting, I will. Absolutely. Because I got to make sure you understand that's not it. Right. As you start to learn a little bit more, I will allow a few mistakes here and there, because you have to understand, like, and this same person, what happened was doing another drill. It was an in and out, and it was a wraparound. So when he did the wraparound, the footwork was off, and it caused him to be off balance. So I showed him, when you do it, don't bring your left foot over as you wrap around. Try to keep your left foot there balanced, so when you go through, you're fine. So then he did it perfect. He gave me that look like, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. The next one he did, he went back to what he did, and he messed up. And instead of me saying no, I just watched his eyes. And he looked at me and he was like, okay, I see the difference, right? And to me, that's more valuable than me correcting you every single time, right? So I was like, well, he only did it twice. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm watching him, because he's a little bit more advanced, and I'm thinking, okay, he's trying to visualize him doing this in the game. So so with some drills, we'll work this, and this. But then maybe when it comes to the finish part, I'll give you options, right? Yeah. So sometimes you can finish with a layup, some floater, some jump shot, some reverse. This way I'm not constricting you to be able to be creative. Now, this first part we're going to hit home on, because that. Now, if you don't understand how to finish, I will give you different ways and we'll go through it. But at some point, I want you to start being creative on your own.
I like that, because you don't know where the defense is going.
Right, you don't know. And I'll make sure they understand when you get to this point. It was a 2-3 zone we was working on. So we was working from the wing, and he was like, he was trying to. I said, look, first of all, we don't want to try to get layups out of this, because it's going to be really hard. There's a layer system and process. I said, first we got to get past that person. I said, and we need to move this person and shift them to imbalance that 2-3. If you just try to attack right from that wing, this person's dropped and that person's over there. So they're going to be about the same distance. But if you start to dribble up, that second person's going to move up. Now you're going to have a wider gap between the top and the corner, so you'll have more room to get in. Yep. And if you have somebody in the corner, if you keep getting that pull-up jump shot, this middle is going to shift
they're
up.
Gonna come out.
And when that person shifts up, now you can hit that person with a move, and now we can work on finishing towards the middle or finishing this side based on the help side, how close they are and choose, right? So it was doing that, but that part I was allowing him to finish. He didn't do that right too many times. So I just kind of was like, yeah, it's probably just him exploring to see how it feels. If he would have done that every single time, because he did a couple of other things that were like, okay, yeah, that's some YouTube stuff as well. And I have to say to myself, like, I'm going to allow the game to help him out with that.
The game's gonna fix it.
The game's gonna fix it.
I got you.
Because you're gonna get out there and you're gonna try that, and somebody's gonna take it.
Yep.
And if you never successful in it, because I didn't teach it, right? So if I didn't teach you that, I would never teach that move. Some things, especially now, because there are a lot of players that come in and it's like, well, I saw this and that, and I was like, nah, man, that's, so sometimes I have to just like, all right, well, let me show you. I want you to get this shot off. I'm going to defend you, and I want you to get this shot off. And then they can, and it's like, yeah, you can't do it. If you're playing against somebody who knows how to play defense, you're not going to get that. Right. You're not going to be able to go pump fake, dribble left 2 times, and then bring the ball over to your right side and then try to go up for a left-hand layup. I'm going to strip the ball out, or I'm going to hit the ball down off of your leg, out of bounds, we're going that way, right? Like if I've done it hundreds of times or thousands of times, I know what I'm doing. So you have to kind of, certain things you do that. But with that, I was like, I'm going to let the game. And at some point, I'm almost certain at some point, if that's something that he tries, that there's going to be a conversation. Well, yeah, it didn't work.
Well, and I like that approach, but there are different levels to kids not really buying into what you're trying to teach.
Right.
Excuse me. I'm blaming the parents. All parents watching Home Network, do it yourself. All parents telling their kid, you can be anything you want to be, and not giving them the platform or the plan to do that. That's on y'all. Because it's like, no disrespect, everybody's a trainer now. Yeah. Everybody's an AAU coach now. Everybody can coach basketball. Have you ever played? No. But what do? I go watch YouTube.
Oh my
I go
God.
watch that. This is the generation. Parents, if you built your own house and you watching the TV with your son or daughter, that's your fault. I'm telling you right now. That's what it is.
All right, so true story. I took the family to Dallas, right?
Yeah.
And our oldest, because we're a blended family. My wife has 2 kids from previous marriage. I have a daughter from previous relationships. So we're a blended family, right? So our oldest, which would be her oldest because she's the oldest, mine is the middle, and then her youngest is the youngest. We go to Dallas, right? First time I'm taking them there, I'm taking them to the fair. We're in my neighborhood, and as we drive around and everything, the oldest kind of looks and says, have you noticed there's a church on every corner and a liquor store almost on every corner? And I'm driving, and my mind quickly went back to Boys in the Hood with Lawrence Fishburne. Said, why do you think there's a liquor store on every corner? They want us to kill ourselves. So I'm thinking to myself, like, and as we drive, like, I know the neighborhood, but as we get into the next corner, I'm like, Okay, that's a liquor store or a church.
So to visualize it,
I'm laughing at myself, like, I mean, not in like I'm laughing at a community, but like I never thought of that. And that's what I equate to what you just said, which is why I laughed. Is like, yeah, now there's a trainer and a coach at every place, or a person building their own facility for games and stuff. Yeah. It's almost like the church and the liquor store in the neighborhood. It's crazy. It is crazy.
I mean,
and the sad part is I end up having to fix all of that.
Yeah.
Cause they go and they like, yo, like that's not that person doesn't know what they're doing. I don't know what that person's doing. You know, you just fix that really quick, and now they're playing better. And it's like, I used to be like, well, why are you going elsewhere? But LO was like, I didn't think of it at that time. I guess you could say I was in my feelings when I was a little bit younger. But then it was like when he said, I was like, yeah, that's right. Like, yeah. McDonald's don't get mad if you go to Burger King. You're going to spend your money. You're going to go to Burger King and be like, yo, you know what? I don't like their burger like I like McDonald's. Or I don't like their fries like I like them. So I'm always going to get my fries there. You got to let people come out and, you know, test it. And if they go somewhere else and they realize it's not, maybe they go and they like the flow. Yeah. And they stay there. But tell you, man, I see videos of some trainings, and I try not to be that person where it's like, well, what are you doing? That's, you know, because it's like, I never want to take a 30-second clip and think that that's what you're training on. But in that 30-second clip, if you continually do the wrong thing and you don't hear any type of correction, or at the end you don't see them doing it the correct way, that's a problem.
It's a major problem. And we had a young lady in our organization who has a trainer. We have a few of them have trainers, which that doesn't bother me at all. And so no one wanted to say it. I had to say it. I said, hey, man, the stuff you're doing online needs to be all erased, because it's, number one, it's slow. 2, it's bad. And 3, like, that's not your game.
Right.
You know, when I try to develop kids, I'm not a trainer. When I try to develop kids, I take their game and apply it to not necessarily how they play, but what space they may be in when they decide to get to the next level.
Right.
You know, if you're a 2-3, I'm not going to train you as a PG. You know.
Right.
And of course, and there's the difference between point guard handles, and you would know this the best, and being able to handle the ball adequately.
Right.
There's a big difference. And
right.
So we had to, and you know, we're about to start our end of the year meetings, and that's going to be a topic of discussion. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're not saying get rid of your trainer, but hey, we'd like to work on this. But trainers to keep clientele, you're one of the few I have not seen do it. They gaslight, you know, oh yeah, 2 seconds left. You know, every shot they make is a winning shot, and whatever, what have you. And so it's giving kids a false understanding of, number one, who they are and what they can do. My last point is, saw this clip of Coach Houston, Sampson. Yeah. Coach Sampson said, you know, they're almost getting away from kids that have a trainer, because he said, we play 5-on-5 here.
Yeah.
You know, when you're going 1-on-0, there's no one guarding you in things of that nature. Now, me per se, and I know you've done it because I've witnessed it and I've seen it, you explain to kids. I've seen you get up in kids and literally guard them.
Right.
Oh, you think that's going to work? Okay, come on. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Because in my mind, that wasn't the space, but right. That's what this space needs.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so kids are going to have to understand, did you have a trainer?
No.
I didn't have a trainer. You wouldn't play, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't play, you learn, you watch. I went to Veterans Gym and I learned every detail I need to know, even the little nuances that most people don't teach. I learned a big's coming, how to get it up higher. I mean, it got to a point where I can almost shoot to the ceiling with left hand and right hand because I had to.
Right.
You know, very, very similar to you. You know, we're smaller guards and we had to.
So, he said we're smaller guards. How tall are you?
6 foot.
He said, we're smaller guards. And he's 6 feet, I'm 5'6". I keep going.
That's
keep
the
going.
rule.
I keep going. No,
So,
yeah.
I mean, like kids are not, the creativity is being taken away
Yeah.
because they're not going out there and doing this stuff on their own. I tell everyone I advise, like, you have to have a creative mindset. Where is that defense going to be? Well, coach, what move you want me to make?
Right.
What do you do well?
Right.
Okay, what's the counter? So we try and get them in a space where they're creating their own counters.
Right. Now, this isn't a pushback. This
Okay.
is just, I guess you could say that there's a pool of players that applies to
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
There's also a pool of players who've never experienced what a counter is and when to counter.
Absolutely.
And I'll go a step further. I've seen where people are like, oh, well, you don't need a trainer, in some instances, I see what they're saying. What I've tried to do as I've evolved is all I've tried to do is say, look, I'm trying to show you what to do and how to do it. But you're part of our 4-step process. Step 1 is what I do in here with you. Mm-hmm. Step 2 is what you do at home by yourself with what we did. Step 3 is now you have to go against somebody in a game situation in practice and practice it. Right. See how it works. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. That's when you learn what you talk about, the nuances of when you should go with your floater, how you should move. Then by step 4 is the finished product. That's what you do in the game. Right. By then you're good. Right. So I've learned, I learned very early on, like this is not just about me teaching this guy all these fancy dancy moves and handles. It's like I got to teach the game. And I really feel that there are some absolute amazing trainers out there who grasp that concept. But then there's a pool of trainers that are wow factor.
That's what he was speaking to.
Yeah. And but I know that they're speaking to. I've learned to understand, like when I'm listening to it, they ain't talking about me. Right. But I really wish if you're going to say something, be more direct. Because you can't say you don't need trainers when you're the one, you're an NBA player and you're training your kid. Yeah. And then you actually contradict yourself because in another video you were saying that you don't train them. You let somebody else train them. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't let somebody else train them. And then, so I understood where he was going with, but I'm like, but you make people confused because I like to understand exactly what you're saying. Don't color outside the lines with me. Let me understand 100% what you're saying, so there is no room for interpretation.
And the difference between, just my opinion, the difference between I'll speak on you because I'm here, is that you're a trainer because you have a business. However, within that space, you develop.
Right.
And that's the different piece. And there's trainers just say, okay, man, let's get up some shots. Okay, make that move. Okay, nice, cool, all right, good. Make this move. Anybody can teach a crossover, but the intricate details that you need from footwork placement to counters, that's the difference. And I don't have a problem with trainers. I think everyone should have a trainer that develops, or someone that develops you, or someone that really advises you.
Yeah.
That's important. Yeah. But having someone to gaslight you and tell you how great you are is a recipe for disaster. And we've always, that's been a mantra for us always. Yeah. Get away from people telling you how great you are. Yeah. When South Carolina come to the table, when UConn, USC, then we can kind of get in that space.
Right. It's fascinating subject that we could possibly spend hours on. Yeah.
But college coaches are frustrated because they're going to the wrong people.
Yeah.
And that's really what's happening.
Yeah. And it's almost like you need to be able to have a Better Business Bureau or have some kind of thing where you can know, who's out there. Like I would just tell people like if they're good, they don't really have to tell you that they're good. You'll be able to see it with the different, people and stuff that they've trained and what, they do. Like I actually enjoy more videos of me showing people that I'm developing than the high level players, right? Because some people can come in and they're just high level already, and you just tweaking and adding and fixing stuff. But yeah, the developing to me is where the true science lies.
To me, this space has turned into like infomercials at 2 a.m. Who's got the best vacuum?
Yeah.
I've got a pot that you can burn, and all those things. And so, some of it's scamming. I'll be honest with you.
It is.
It's scamming.
Some of it is.